Everybody, Adam here, So Wizard Podcast. Let's get into your weekly streaming pick. As we talked about last time, I'm going to be giving you a movie and a series from different streaming platforms to increase the chances that you have access to the content, and also because we're all on lockdown, so you have plenty of time to be watching stuff. First, let's start with the movie. In this time of lockdown, a lot of movies are, well, I guess not a lot, but a lot relative to what's coming out, which is nothing, are getting early access in your home, and for $20 or something you can rent a movie for 48 hours. There really hasn't been anything great hitting that except for Onward. Now, I don't want to recommend you go out and rent a movie for $20. That's a bit steep when you can buy it for that in 4K in a few months. But what is awesome is Disney was nice enough to put Onward on the Disney Plus streaming app. If you don't have Disney Plus, which I really don't know why you wouldn't, because, early sign-up, you could get it for $4 a month. It's got all the Star Wars, all the Marvel, all the Pixar, all the Disney, National Geographic. It's got tons of stuff on there. You can get a great package deal with Hulu, whatever. I'm not doing a commercial for Disney. But Onward was a very, very good movie. And even seeing the trailers for this one, I wasn't super into it, I got to admit. But it was Pixar, and aside from Cars 2 and Airplanes, I've kind of loved everything Pixar's done. Tom Holland and Chris Pratt are the two leads of it, well, their voices are. And it was way better than I expected, and it kind of pulls a fast one on you in the best way, where it kind of does the Frozen thing, where you think the movie's going in one direction, and it kind of pivots and throws you off, but it makes total sense, and it's not out of left field. I don't want to go too far into spoilers, because I really enjoyed the journey with these characters. Onward takes place in a world that looks a lot like ours, but populated by fantasy-type characters and creatures. And I guess the concept is magic is real. They all know, or at least knew it was real, but it was kind of hard. So let's just use our phones and electronics and light bulbs, and let's just make it easy on ourselves. And it was kind of a reflection looking at technology and how it's stopping us from doing things that kind of made you more connected in a way. It doesn't get preachy at any point. I'm probably reading more into it for this little recommendation than I need to. And it follows these two brothers on a journey to try to use a spell to get their dad back. One of the brothers had some contact with the dad and only had a few memories of him, and the other brother never had any kind of relationship with the father because he died when he was so young. And it's this great journey that takes a lot of tropes and spins them a little bit and has a lot of fun and gives them a lot of things to do. And it was just a really charming story, and the bond that forms and the adventure they go on in a world that is similar to ours and gets further and further away from it as it becomes more and more of a character piece. It's incredibly well done. Basically everything Pixar is, as I said. Highly recommend it. It's on Disney Plus. If you don't yet subscribe to Disney Plus, you can pick up a month for like $6, watch a ton of the content on there, and cancel it. You're going to spend $20 to rent it, or $6, I'd go for it. The other recommendation I have is in Epic's original, but the first season is now on Netflix, which makes it a lot more accessible, because I don't know anyone who actually subscribes to Epic's, but it's Get Shorty, the series. I do like the Get Shorty movie with John Travolta. I don't think John Travolta is such a pariah that we're not allowed to admit that we like some of his older work. And I actually even like Be Cool. It's more of a guilty pleasure movie, and is also one of The Rock's earliest roles. But both movies are pretty good. And when I saw they were doing a series, I thought of like when they did a Rush Hour series, or the Lethal Weapon series actually wasn't bad in the first season. But all these movies becoming series on network TV where you stretch out a 2-hour movie into a 22-episode thing, it's a bit much. Get Shorty's only 10 episodes, which gives you a lot more room to tell the story, but it's generally not too much room that you're just like, okay, enough of this. And it also really helped that Chris O'Dowd is in it, because I think he's great, and I don't really see him in enough projects. Either way, if you don't know the other movie, or if you hadn't read the book, because both the movie and the series are based on a book, it's not a series based on the movie, it basically takes a low-level mob enforcer who's kind of charmed by the world of Hollywood and wants to get into movies, so he basically forces his way in, Some of it through naivety and some of it through his mob enforcement skills. I guess it would be cartel enforcement in this case. I'm not exactly sure, but that kind of job. And, of course, it's a comedy, and a darker comedy. Not quite as dark as Barry, where the hitman becomes an actor, but not quite as ridiculous as, say, like Entourage. But Chris O'Dowd does a good job. I can't think of the supporting cast members off the top of my head. Ray Romano's actually in it, too, as one of the producers, who does a very good job in his role. It moves along, and it kind of shows you some of the ridiculousness of the Hollywood world that we know just through watching other movies and projects based on it. I don't think Get Shorty is forging any new ground. I don't think it's this life-altering, one-of-a-kind project, but I really enjoyed the series, and there is a second season on Epix. I'm just waiting for it to hit Netflix. So it's a pretty fast-paced comedy that dives a little bit into the cartel crime world, just dips the toe in enough to keep it interesting. It's fun, it's fast-moving. I really enjoyed it. I recommend it. Again, that's on Netflix. So just a quick recap. Onward on Disney Plus now, or you can spend the $20 for the early access screening, though I don't know why you'd go that direction when you could just even pay for a whole month of Disney Plus for $6. Really good story. That's one for the family, or you can watch it alone. Pixar always makes stuff that's kid and adult friendly. Is our movie recommendation for the week, and our series recommendation for the week, or my series recommendation for the week, is Get Shorty, the series, not the John Travolta movie, an Epix original, but also now streaming on Netflix. So thanks for watching. Make sure to go to SoWizardPodcast.com for reviews, recommendations, merchandise, and more. Be sure to listen to SoWizard Podcast every single week wherever you get your podcasts. SoWizard Podcast can also be found on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you can help support the show and get bonus content for it. There are now 2 Patreon-exclusive shows every month, Just Joey and a bonus episode of SoWizard Podcast with the core team. This month they are doing The Hunt, and Just Joey just dropped one where he talked about Outsider and Castlevania and a couple other things that he's been into pop culture-wise. Very cool stuff. Check it out. Let us know what you think. Would you have any recommendations? Will you be watching Onward or Get Shorty? If you have, what do you think of them? Did you watch last week's recommendations? Let us know in the comments. Drop us a line on social media. All the accounts can be found after the show. Thanks.